Hi friends, welcome back to the kitchen. I know you've had a lot of questions on what type of frosting I use, and I use a cream cheese frosting when I decorate my cookies. However, there's royal frosting also. I'm going to show you how to make both of them and the difference on how they taste and how they look. So first, let's start on that royal frosting. The royal frosting is made up of a combination of powdered sugar, meringue powder, and water. That's it. Now, if you don't want to use meringue powder or you don't have it, you can also use a corn syrup as a thickener. I'm going to put it through a sifter, and if you don't have a sifter, a fine wire mesh is good. You're just trying to make sure that there's no hard lumps of the powdered sugar in there, because when you put it through and you're doing that fine decorating, you don't want to end up with a large lump of sugar. All right, so our powdered sugar is all sifted. We added the meringue powder and we put that through the sifter also. And we're gonna add the water. The water is gonna be kind of tricky because you want it to be slightly thick, because you have to have two separate bags. One is a thicker to form an edge and one is a thinner. So you're just gonna add a little bit at a time and mix it in really well. You can see it's all incorporated and it's very loose at this point. So we're just going to take a little bit of it out, and I'm going to add a teaspoon at a time and mix it. What I'm looking for is a much thicker icing that when it drops on itself, it doesn't automatically blend into it. And we'll get into the why we do that once we start decorating. But let's move on to the cream cheese frosting. So that one's all done. Cream cheese frosting is made with cream cheese and milk and sugar. So we're going to add the cream cheese in, and it's a softened cream cheese. We're going to mix it until it's just kind of light and airy. We're going to add in, this is one whole bag of the powdered sugar. And again, you can sift this one, but my mix master tends to do a good job of breaking up all those little pieces. And you want to start slow so that you don't get that big puff of powdered sugar in your face. Mix that around. Scrape down the sides a little bit. And then we're going to start adding in a half a cup of heavy cream, and you're going to add it in slowly, and it's going to all start combining and become this nice, thick, rich frosting. That's good. It doesn't come off the beater at all, so we want to go with just a little bit more of regular milk, a little bit at a time until you get the consistency that you want. You want it at a consistency where it is just barely coming off there. Do you see that? It's nice and smooth, and it's going to be great for decorating that cookie. You don't want it real liquidy, because then it will just slide right off the cookie, and you don't want that. You want it to keep its form, but you don't want it so thick that you're having to like scrape it on. So let's color some of these. I'm just going to put some food color in each one, and then we're going to decorate a few cookies so you can see how they look and the difference in them. So now that our frosting is made, we're going to start decorating our cookies. We'll start out with the royal frosting first. So what I did is I colored red, and I have one in a thick one that we're going to line the cookie with, and I have one that's thinner, and that's going to be blending into it. So we don't want it to run off the cookie, which is why we have that thicker line. So let's start out and make our design. In disclosure, I normally use the cream cheese frosting, so I know there's a lot of great cookie bakers out there that have a lot of great designs. of the smaller of the pipe that you have, or the smaller of the hole, it's going to make much more detailed work. So I just have traced a little bit of what I want, and I'll do that again with what I want in the red. And we're going to set this cookie aside. It needs to sit for a while and harden so that when we put our other one on, the looser one, that it stays puffy and upright. So you can see here, I've let this one rested for a little bit, and we're going to go in with that frosting that is a little bit looser, and we're just going to fill it in, and it's going to push to the sides and fill in all of those gaps. And there you have the little peppermint cookie. So you're going to set this one aside again, let that dry, and then you can stack them with wax paper in between them. It'll become very hard. It's just the sugar, the water, and the meringue powder. Okay, so the royal icing, you can see, takes time and patience and talent, and all those people making those gorgeous cookies are doing such a great job. There's so much work that goes into them. Each color that they have to do, that's a whole new piping process. My favorite is the cream cheese frosting. And so, same thing, you color it, you put it in your bag. This one, you don't need to have that separate bag. You can get somewhat of a design, but it's not going to like blend in together. So we're just going to fill it all in. It's a little bit thicker, way more richer of a frosting, and you can see just how quickly I did that. Let's do another one here. Now, if you feel like that frosting is too thick for you on the cookie, you can do it another way. You can put it simply on the cookie, put it less, and then just take a spoon or a spatula and spread it around to where you want it. See how that looks? Let's add a little star to it. You can see with the cream cheese you don't get like that real fine lines of it, but it sure does look pretty. And we'll put some sprinkles on it. Look at how cute those turned out. Simple, fast, they're delicious. I would say let them rest for one day, and that moisture is going to go down into the cookie, making the cookie even more tender than what it is. So you can see two different type of ways to decorate your cookies. Obviously with more practice, super cute way, doesn't taste as good. The cream cheese tastes phenomenal, but you don't get those details of it. My family, we like the cream cheese. And you'll want to eat them sooner than later, and I'm sure they won't last in your kitchen. Hope you enjoy.